Well, folks, the data is now readily available. It has been compiled. It has been put into chart and graph form. And yes, this data of the pandemic and the response from the individual states proves that Republican-controlled states that had a Republican governor, had a higher case rate and a higher death rate on average than states run by Democrats. Now, trust me, this is not one of those, haha, look how horrible Republicans are videos. That is not what this is. This was life and death, right? People died as a result of the negligence and ignorance of these Republican governors. Why? Because they didn't want to go against Donald Trump in an election year. They didn't want the public to think that everything was out of control. They didn't want the public to think that they could be in danger because that might somehow reflect poorly on either themselves or on Donald Trump. Again, it was an election year. They had to play it safe. So they said, nah, don't worry about it. You don't have to have masks if you don't want to wear a mask. Sure, we can still have these big Trump rallies come to our areas. You can still go out to eat without anything to worry about. We're not going to shut down our economy to appease the Democrats. No. And we know the rest. The data tells that story. On average, higher death rate, which doesn't mean they had more deaths, by the way. It just means more deaths per total number of cases. And more cases per capita than Democrat-controlled states. And again, the problem with this is because the United States treated the pandemic like it was some kind of partisan issue. Okay, this was one of the times where the country easily could have and should have, had we had better leadership, come together and said, listen, this thing is scary. This thing is killing people across the globe. It's here on our shores. So how about we show the world how to handle this? How about we be the ones who step up and say, listen, you walk outside your house, you have a mask on. We're going to shut down for a couple weeks. We're going to pay the country enough to where nobody falls into poverty or bankruptcy or loses their home while we're shut down so that we can nip this thing in the bud and be done with it. And again, we're going to show the rest of the world how it's done. That could have been a unifying moment for really anyone. Republicans, Democrats, whoever. Somebody from any party could have stepped up, even if you weren't at the top of the leadership totem pole. You could have stepped up. And we could have prevented so many deaths. A nationwide mask mandate would have prevented hundreds of thousands of deaths in this country. Instead, we ended up with a federal government that didn't know what to do, literally lied to us when Trump was doing his daily press briefings on the pandemic, would lie to our faces every single day. Then we had a patchwork of 50 different states doing 50 different things, nobody really knowing what the hell is going on. We didn't understand the virus at the beginning of this thing. You know, basically through the first 6 months of it, we were confused. We had no idea. New information is still coming out now. But because there was no nationwide response, and because each individual state was basically told to go it alone, that's why we see the discrepancy. And yeah, it sucks that Republican-controlled states did such a poor job handling this. But this isn't an attack on Republicans. This is an attack on the tribalism that has completely engulfed the United States. If Democrats say something bad, Republicans automatically think it's good, and vice versa. We can't have that. We can't have that, especially on issues of life and death like the pandemic is. On issues like climate change, same thing. Anything really involving science has somehow become a partisan issue. We have politicized science. Climate change is real. Climate change is happening now. We can stop it, but we have to act fast. And Republicans over here say, nope, that's just scientists wanting to get rich. It's insane. This country is insane. And people are dying because of it.